Come on, found real quick too. Let's see if I have audio or not. Hello. Okay, so I'll probably be downloading this and re-uploading later. But the point of this actually was I wanted to highlight some people and friends of mine as well. So first, I'm going to start off with a kid that I met on Discord. So he goes by Just Block, and he's like 11 years old. So this dude doesn't really do much of streaming or recording or anything. But when I play him for his age, he's a rather good player, and he tries to be smart. And I've realized that in our most recent matches, that the thing that was hurting him was he was scared to press buttons in Dragon Ball Fighters, which is a game that honestly, it's good to press buttons, but you have to know when to and when not to. You want to have clean gameplay as much as possible, but you're not always going to. So this is something that he put up recently. And so he always kind of gives me a little smack talk on, why don't I do side switch combos, online. And I actually gave him a response on this one specifically, just because when it comes to online, I would rather focus more on doing like certain combos over side switch. And the reason being is because unless it's like a really solid connection, or I'm playing local or offline, I'm not going to bother with doing side switches. Like, for me as a player, people will probably disagree with me, but I think keeping someone in the corner in Dragon Ball Fighters is like trying to put someone in the box or trying to put a wild animal in a corner with their back against the wall. They're going to do stuff that no matter what you do, this is when you're playing online specifically why I do this, they're going to do things that if your setup isn't timed perfectly, you're going to wind up getting hit because they're going to press buttons. They're going to try and bite you, basically. So it's frustrating because, we watch pro players, like someone that I really actually like is Shanks. He's an Android 18 player. And so I like pointing out this stuff because I will do things when I'm playing online, like soft resets by, like when I'm using Krillin. I will do a Kamehameha in the mid screen instead of going for a sliding knockdown because I assume if I did enough damage, my opponent is going to want to do one of two things. They're going to want to either tag out or they're going to go crazy about how they try to get in and call assist. If I do it properly, I should be able to actually land on the ground, do a reflect, maybe 2H them when they come super dashing like a nut, or they might just vanish because they called their assist. And if I reflected, I might be able to punish that. Now, besides that, I've also tried playing other games recently, like Skullgirls. Skullgirls is a rather fun game, and I love the mechanics and the characters. If it was a 1v1 game, I think it would be amazing as a 1v1 only. But Skullgirls wants to be team-based, which is cool too. But for a player like me who hasn't learned all the mechanics of that game, because I only tried playing it recently, I think Miss Fortune is really awesome character, and I don't want to play any other character in that game. And because I'm allowed to chip player by herself, I do. And until I'm able to battle with the mechanics properly, I'll lose pretty hard to zoning. Like I was playing on PS4 recently and got my ass kicked by this one player who was using like, I want to say Peacock or Painwheel. I think it's Peacock. And then they had Robo Fortune and some other character that had like a really good invincible assist. So anywho, between these players, I found that I got zoned out badly, and I didn't have like a reflect mechanic to, you know, stop the zoning. So pretty much I just had to try and slowly approach. And I had to do this by basically dash blocking, double jumping, jump air dashing, trying to look for the opening and all the stuff he was throwing at me. Because, I mean, there's a lot of stuff being thrown at me. And what's funny is in a game like Dragon Ball Fighters, zoning doesn't really scare you very much. Like, zoning is something you can battle and not get upset because most of the time, if you're on the ground and you're reflecting, you'll be able to at least stop a lot of the zoning. And then if they get annoyed that they're not really hitting you with their zoning, they're going to just come in. Like, I don't think I've ever fought anyone in Dragon Ball Fighters that didn't try to super dash at me. You know, like, it just happens. I don't know if they mean to super dash every time. The inputs were fixed in season 3 to where the shortcut of up forward and hitting the super dash button will always give you instant air dash now, or, you know, air dash instead of super dash. So that's one thing that I liked in Dragon Ball Fighters that they added. But when I was playing with this player, Just Block, I was telling him that one of the reasons I miss Marvel 3 a lot is because Marvel 3 had some really cool movement options that I really missed in current fighting games. And that would be wave dashing and plink dashing. In Dragon Ball Fighters, you cannot wave dash. And, you know, it's my most played fighting game right now, so it's a little frustrating that I can't just simply hit my dash button and tap down, hit my dash button and tap down. Instead, if I hit the dash button by itself, my character is just going to super dash. If I hold forward and I hit dash, well, I can pretty much just only try to dash block. You can't wave dash because there's a high likelihood that you're going to tap down to try to wave dash. And then when you go to tap forward with the input for dashing, you're not going to get what you wanted for that movement. Now, I will say that dash blocking is a very good mechanic, though, because the idea behind it is for people that play Unity, so Under Night, that's a game where dash blocking is king. Like that's what matters. So you want to make sure that when you're playing that game that you are going in and kicking ass. Now let me see